This is the first interview after the end of the first episode of the Cinebooth live show. And it is a very special occasion because we have the director and writer of the first show we had this evening, which was The Cell. Director and writer, Jake Bentley. So now, going on to you, Jake, there's this thing I wanted to mention, which is that I was actually really looking forward to having this interview with you because I've been watching your stuff since basically September of last year. And it is very, very, very good. And we had a lot of your stuff. And I was wondering, where is this guy? When am I going to meet this guy? There's so many things I'd like to talk to him about and to see what's his story, how it goes. Basically, and it's not just you, Jake. I'm talking about basically all of the projects that are done by the TheThreeLancers team.
Yeah, okay.
So to pass the torch on to you, please, if you could explain the backstory and what's behind the TheThreeLancers, what it is, and what are you guys doing?
Okay, so the Freelancers are an independent short production company that me and a few friends founded in 2015. So since 2010, or just before, we've been making films together as friends, and have just done that through school, college, uni, and now into professional work life 10 years on. So I started with stop motion animations like a decade ago with Lego figures on YouTube. And I got bought a video camera, a View HD, you know, like the flip cameras from years ago, the first HD sort of affordable cameras. And I got bought a View, and I was like, well, I don't do filmmaking or video, but I do use Movie Maker, and I have sound effects. And I came with the idea, wait a second, I'm seeing all these people online, Cora Digital, Freddie, these filmmaking channels, Film Riot, they're making films, and they're not Hollywood, they're making films, and they're just like me, normal people. So why don't me and my friends get together, use this camera, sound effects, and Movie Maker, and we could make films? Then we were in my garden shooting videos with BB guns. That's the rest is history. We just kept making films and really evolving past just shooting guns at each other to telling stories and trying to make films in the industry. So in 2015, we finished school. We were late 2014. Sorry, we were moving to college. And we thought we can't just be a YouTube channel putting films out with my personal name, Jake Ryan 312, if anyone actually wants to look up the old channel. We need to be a professional looking company. And we came up with the name The Freelancers. It's a pun because originally there was 3 main members. So 3 of us, so freelancers and freelance work, because we wanted to go into more promo videos and stuff at the time. So that's where the name comes from and how it worked. And eventually we went off to uni and met lots of people and made a team that's pretty massive and across the UK, as you've seen from our films how diverse and where they are in the different locations. So that's how it all came to be.
Yeah, I see. The thing is that a very interesting thing that happens in a lot of your shots, the cell included, and now let's go into dive into that one more specifically, as it's one that we just saw. A lot of them they feel kind of pitches for premises for a longer story. Like you have a world completely created and you have ideas that you like to play around, and this is just a taster. That's the impression a lot of them give. The Cell is a good example of that. It feels like there's a few twists as you would see if you were able to see the whole thing. Explain more about where did the Cell came from?
Well, all of our films kind of play, as you said, kind of concepts, or if they were a feature or a bigger film, and way of essentially is pitching ourselves to anyone who happens to see them. But the Cell was actually, the location of the Cell we got for free because our old college happened to be in a prison building, or had a prison cell because it was a police station. And we always wanted to shoot a film in there. We shot loads in there. And we came to the realization, wait, we have a real life prison cell and we haven't shot a film about a prisoner. That seems a bit dumb. And we played around this concept for a couple of years of what would happen if a prisoner, they're trapped, they don't know what's going on in the world around them. They have no idea about news properly. I mean, I don't think most of them do anyway, or don't really care. What happened if one got stuck in the apocalypse and didn't know what was going on around him, or a war? So if they were stuck in a war or apocalypse, everything's just noise around them in the cell. There's no one who's going to come check on them because they're a prisoner. They would be the first people to be forgotten about during an apocalypse, really, because who's going to really bother? I would have thought anyway. The guards are going to abandon them. So the idea is the apocalypse happens outside his cell, and then he's being taken care of by some weird creature.
Yeah.
And it's why is he in that situation? And from that is really where the idea stemmed from, that he's actually trapped in his own consciousness of his own personal hell, and the whole film kind of then acts as a metaphor for, because hell really, like burning fire, what typical imagery of hell, that's not everyone's hell. Everyone's hell is probably going to be different. You know, someone's hell might just be in, you know, their least favorite place, you know. So we thought, what if his hell is this eternal prison sentence, reminding him of his past and what he did to be there. So that's where the cell comes from.
Yeah, talking about hell, in my case, that would be Spain, generally speaking. Basically, where I come from, my hometown. But yeah, so yeah, I see what you mean. Basically, I didn't get I didn't manage to get the backstory that there was actually an apocalyptic situation outside the cell. What I found very interesting is the fact that Sam Bird plays both the detective that's trying to interrogate the main character and the devil that's tormenting him at the same time. So I was thinking, maybe there's something going on there. Maybe there's something. Is too much to ask, or
no? They are the same. The interrogator is representing the person who would have been interviewing him in his past life, but is definitely the devil trying to remind him of what he did. Whereas the character is fighting against it and denying what he did and doesn't come to see it. And until he comes to realization of what he's done, he'll be stuck in this loop of this torture, psychological torture. So that is the idea there. So the interrogator is definitely the devil.
Not only your shots have a lot of quality, but you also have a lot of quantity, which is normally a strange mix. Normally you'd say it doesn't work that way.
Yeah.
So how the hell do you schedule that? How does that work? Because you're basically punching shots out every 2 weeks or every single month.
Yeah. Okay. So a lot of it comes down to our workflow and ethic and how we go about it. From the pre-production to production, we've really mastered how we store files, what we shoot and whatnot. And that comes down to having an optimized workflow of shooting in ProRes, so we don't need to transcode, and having a color setup and pipeline that just stays the same. How we send out to multiple editors, how we have multiple composers that all help us and work as part of the team. And because of that, it means we can always have a film we always have a film in pre-production while one is in production, while one is in post. So no matter what, there's three going along, like a factory rollout, while others are being scripted and ideas are flowing. So it's always this constant cycle coming through. There's never a point where it stops and then we write another one, shoot it, edit it. And that's where I think why a lot of people take so long, because they'll be writing a script and they won't shoot it until another script until that one's done, until that one's edited, then they'll shoot another one. That could be a few months. Exactly. So some of our films that come out, were shot a while ago, but they're coming out now because they've been cut while other films are being shot, for example. So yeah, that's how it basically works so smoothly.
Yeah, I mean, it definitely feels like an endless process when you look at your YouTube channel. That has to be either extremely fun or extremely hellish. Maybe both at the same time, probably.
Both, yeah.
Yeah, you make all of these short films, like an insane amount of them. What would you say is your end goal? What are you going for? Do you plan a lot? Is there any plan of where all of that products are going for?
Yeah, exactly. Well, originally we just loved to tell stories and make films, and we never really, for the longest time, it was just when you're younger, you don't see the future. It seems far away, the future, getting a job and whatnot. But we've got to the point where we're all working, got jobs, freelancing and whatnot. And it came to a point where it's like, well, where are we going with this? And I think part of the journey for that began with making TheThreeLancers a proper production company with domains and trying to push freelance work with that. But ultimately, our end goal is for our work to be in cinemas and to be an independent distributor and producer of films. I guess an A24, but we control our own productions, for example, and don't just, deal money out. Would be like a completely in-house from pre-production to post-production system. So really our goal is seeing people seeing our films from all around the world and having budgeted features, for example. I mean, we just achieved one of our biggest goals. We've got films on Blu-ray now. A distribution deal happened for all of our horror shorts to be on a collection, and our feature film we made a couple of years ago to be remastered for a release this October. So really it's just having our films seen everywhere. So
just letting you know that The Cell is the first one, and very soon, on the following 2 weeks, we're going to be announcing the next TheThreeLancers film that is going to be shown on the show. It is going to be a very short one, which is just exactly 1 minute long. Let's see if you can guess which one it is.
The jobs to end all jobs.
Yeah, exactly. So yeah, in that note, before leaving you go, I'd like to ask: is there anything you'd like to say? Any topic you'd like to cover of your own interest, or that you'd like to send to the audience who may be watching this?
I think that pretty much covers it all. But I'd just like to say to the audience that thank you for watching my short. I hope everyone liked it. And if you have any feedback, if you drop on to the original films, leave any comments, let us know what you think. I'm always open to suggestions, ideas, what they thought of it, how they analysed it. More like criticism, yeah, we're fine to that, but I want to see how people analyse it, what they thought it meant. That's what I find interesting. Like what you thought the cell meant to you, I found very interesting. So that's why I want to see. So any of that.
Looking forward to see you again. Everybody watching this, go and watch The Cell on YouTube. Go to the TheThreeLancers YouTube channel and watch everything. There's crazy stuff. Whatever you like. If you like horror, you have stuff like The Cell. You have sci-fi. You have even fan films for stuff like Max Payne and Half-Life.
We do. Yeah.
Exactly. Just go for it and have a lot of fun. These are honestly some of the best filmmakers we've had the pleasure to show.
Thank you.
And it just never ends. So, Jake, thank you very much for your time. It's been a pleasure seeing your face and being the first person from Cinebooth to say hello to you.
Thank you.
And for everything and anything, please just drop a line. Hope you're able to watch the show.
I will be.
Thank you very much.